Hey ManCavians, this is Bob from DaBob's N-Scale ManCave, and this is part 2 of the flooding video I put out 2 weeks ago. And a lot has changed in the past 2 weeks. And I'm going to show you a lot of those changes as of today, and some of the changes that were going on last week when I was out and about taking a look at some of the damage. So just a little background there. I'm going to be pulling a lot of things off of Facebook, some pictures and so forth that will show what has been publicly released to view. And so I'll put a bunch of links down below of where you can find these pictures as well if you're interested in looking at more and more things that are out there. So let's go take a look at what I found and give you a good update. Got some damaged trucks over here and some trailers from the flood. Train just sitting here waiting. Not sure if it's going to go or not today. Fixing the rails down there. I have never seen a backhoe riding the tracks. Pretty cool. You can see that the ballast is all washed away underneath these rails. And it's all washed away right there. You see all the railroad ties are just all piled up along the shore here, along these trees. It's a real mess. Doesn't look too bad down there. This is Highway 34, a new highway that's going across from Highway 75 over to Iowa on Highway 29. It's still completely flooded over. See the bridge out there? The road is completely flooded and closed off. flood look like from satellite picture. You can tell it's pretty big compared to what it used to look like with the river to what it was on that Sunday morning. They started off with getting sand from the local community and making sandbags. Bellevue City and military were building sandbags all night Friday and into Saturday, placing them around buildings. As the water started rising, it was soon realized that this water was not going to stop anytime soon, and they abandoned building any more sandbags because it's just overflowing the sandbags until it looked like this in the morning. Not good at all. That's 16 feet of water right there at its highest, and you can tell it's a lake now. The tanks even started to float a little bit. The big one there is empty, decommissioned, and getting over top of signs and up to the hangar doors and inside the hangar and everything. The EPA came out and secured some buoys around there to contain any oil spills or gasoline spills, and that was just from cars. And they launched boats from the road into the lake that we made. And as the water started going down, more and more efforts were made to contain any spills by the EPA. And that diesel tank is decommissioned. It did not spill anything out. There was nothing in it. The military members and civilian employees had to relocate to a number of different locations because their buildings were underwater, and we still have to work. So you make do with what you have and where you have it, and we did a great job doing that. As you can see, a lot of work was being done at all the time. Some of the buildings, the water came up to almost the signs. Some of the new buildings had a lot of water in them. As the water is receding, you have a lot of field corn stalks and stuff like that in the water that's laying all over the ground. Still had snow on the ground, believe it or not, and that was all melting off as well, making it even worse. And some of the buildings are starting to see their full signs, and their parking lots are coming back, and all that residue is still hanging around in the parking lot. As you can see, a lot of stuff is going on here. Now, there was a sewage treatment plant north of here that overflowed, and so a lot of the water that is in here is nasty, nasty water. And so you kind of need to be protected when you go into these flooded areas, because you don't know what you're going to catch, and you get your tetanus shots. I had a boat pulling up to the wing commander's building, and this is what you have to do to prepare to go in there. Breathing apparatuses, make sure the air is not toxic, and looking at things on the wall in the wing building, and some of the pictures of what it looks like inside one of these buildings when you have a lot of water sloshing around. There was 5.5 feet of water in this building alone. The desks just floated around, knocking things over. The wing commander's office even got hit. Not immune. Well, cleanup started in the hangar, cleaning out the hangars with the wash rack, so we start washing airplanes again. The water receded from the runways, leaving dumpsters and CPR dummies on the runway. Even started loading things into pods and recovering some memorabilia from certain offices, the flags, and other hard to replace the items. Some generals showed up to review, along with the Secretary of the Air Force, seeing all the damage that's here. Now we're having to refuel airplanes with gasoline trucks, and we can do that again now. And salute the flag when you can. Now, also in the Bellevue area, just north of the base, it looks just the same, just as damaged, and they're recovering as well. was here a couple weeks ago. There was a engine and a couple cars down there on the left siding. They've removed those. I guess tracks were good enough to back out of here on this left side. Right side is pretty degraded, but probably not the worst it could have been, so that's really good. Still have a lot of water over there. Not sure if the road's closed, I might go over there and take a look. A lot of water in this field still. This is Hayworth Park over here. Start seeing some of the buildings and the campsite areas popping back up. Even the playground over there is above water, well, mostly above water. Bellevue Bridge. Still have a lot of water over on this side. So forth. Well, there you go. You can see that there's been a lot of changes in the past 2 weeks, and the bridges are opened across the Missouri River in some cases. A lot of cases they're not fully open because the water's still covering the roadways. Some bridges have been severely damaged, especially the railroad bridge down by Plattsmouth along the Platte River. And, well, there's still a lot of standing water too. And so it's slowly going to take some time. It's only been 2 weeks, and we're not really into flooding season yet. There's still a lot of snow up north. It needs to melt and come down, so who knows what's going to happen in the next couple months. A lot of things you may want to keep up with at Offutt Air Force Base, and I put the links down below for the 55th Wing here at Offutt Air Force Base and the 55th Wing Commander. Those two Facebook pages, you can follow those and keep up with changes and updates to the base, especially for those of you who know the buildings and so forth at this base, and you can kind of get some reminiscing and say, hey, I remember that place. And so the best thing is we've brought all our airplanes back, and we're flying out of Offutt Air Force Base again, and that way you don't have to take up space at other places like in Lincoln or somewhere else. So hope you enjoyed it, and if you're a model railroader, happy model railroading, and stay off those railroad tracks. They're probably washed out. Bye.